Hey collectors, welcome to Star Wars Collected. I'm Jonathan. Today I'm going to go over the top collectibles that I would like to see come out from the Bad Batch. Let's start out with some obvious ones. I think we all probably want some hot toy versions of these guys. We already have Echo, we already have Hunter announced, so those will be great when those come out. I would like to see all 5 of the Bad Batch in their original armor. I'd also like to see the new version of Crosshair come out. I'd like to see his elite squad in a version, which I think is an obvious one. If you can just take the already existing clone trooper and repaint it in those colors, why wouldn't Hot Toys make that? And then the last one I'd like to see is, I might get this name wrong, but Tan Wei, the actual Kaminoan female, or the Prime Minister for that matter. It's not so much that they're a super important character, although they do seem to be more and more important here in the Bad Batch, but what a cool looking alien sculpt. It would be really cool to see those. And then actually my very last one, and this is completely selfish, would be Grand Moff Tarkin. I would love to have a Grand Moff Tarkin Hot Toys in my collection. The current version that is out, or the most recent release, often bundled with a Vader version, is a little bit more than I'd like to pay on the secondary market, so I would love to see a Grand Moff Tarkin come out. So the next one is probably a kind of a far shot. Sideshow used to make a lot of statues that would be not just the quarter scale version that we know and love now, but these sort of like in-universe type things. I have one of the Wampa and Luke. I have one of Darth Maul fighting Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. They have a variety of these different ones. I think they're great. I love them. They're one of my favorite things to collect, and I'm always on the hunt for them. And it would be really cool to see some sort of Bad Batch statue that has all 5 of them and some kind of really cool dynamic pose or action scene. I'm also thinking a little bit about Iron Studios right now. You can purchase these Sentinels with the X-Men all over it. The thing costs a fortune, and I certainly don't want to spend a fortune on it, but that has got to be one of the coolest statues I've ever seen. So I'd love to see something like that in Star Wars using all of the Bad Batch guys. Now let's think of something for the kids, or at least those of us that are young at heart, myself included. So I know that they make a Mandalorian gauntlet that you can buy. And I remember as a kid, I always used to love the stuff that you could like put on yourself. You know, obviously I like helmets and things like that. So what about like an Echo arm thing that goes over your hand? And if you've seen the Hot Toys Echo, that figure comes with all these different swappable arms that you can put on them, whether it's you know, kind of a jackhammer screwdriver looking thing, or some kind of weapon or something like that. So wouldn't it be cool as a kid to have this sort of like false hand thing that you could use and then put a different tool in the end, and maybe it rotates, maybe it lights up, maybe it moves back and forth, something of that nature. I think that'd be a really cool role-playing toy for kids. Sticking with the theme of thinking of things for kids, I miss 3.75-inch figures. I don't really collect them anymore. I would pick them up when they were super cheap at, you know, something like Five Below or something like that. Squirrel them away for some future Padawan of mine that I might have someday. But I miss that scale is gone. Now granted, you can still get it if you buy things with the vintage collection and things of that nature, but those are kind of pricey for something that you're gonna give, you know, your 5-year-old to kind of instill them with that love of Star Wars. So it's a long shot, and I know they have their new Galactic Heroes line. I forget what that's actually called, but I would love to see 3.75-inch figures return. Those are what I grew up on. That's what I'm sure almost all of you grew up on. And it's just kind of sad when you go to this toy store and they're not there. So it'd be really cool to see a whole line of Bad Batch 3.75-inch figures. Now, while I don't tend to collect the 3.75-inch figures anymore, I do love the vehicles that they put out. And what I'd love to see is to see the Havoc Marauder, their ship, their shuttle, be in some sort of form like that. You know, I don't think it needs to be a HasLab type thing. I think a lot of us agree that the Razor Crest probably didn't need to be a HasLab project with the kind of support that it got. But it's a very cool looking ship. I would love to see some sort of model that I could purchase of it. And a lot of times I kind of treat that 3.75-inch vintage scale ships that they produce sort of as an inexpensive and pre-painted model. Sometimes I go in and weather them later. I've got some over my shoulder here that are kind of like that, but I would love to see that ship. That ship's very cool. Another thing that I think Disney will probably make is, wouldn't it be cool if you could get a Lula Tuca doll? So this seems like the perfect thing for them to put in a Galaxy's Edge. I think that would technically work within the timeline. Obviously, Galaxy's Edge, it takes place much later, but as long as there's some sort of record before that of what Lula looked like, I could see them putting in a Lula Tuca doll at Galaxy's Edge, so that way you could buy your own little companion, just like Wrecker has, and take it home with you. All right, last but certainly not least, especially for me, it's kind of obvious. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I'm gonna need the Bad Batch helmets. All right, so if you look over my shoulder here, I have a huge wall of helmets. I'm helmet obsessed. And I'm planning to probably pick these 3D print files up off the Galactic Armory here in a couple of days. Right now they have a sale on through this whole month. And they have, you know, the original 4 Bad Batch. He also has Echo. So I think I'll be downloading all of those files here shortly. So I'll definitely be making all of the Bad Batch ones. Of course, you know, Crosshair has 2 helmets already, so I'll probably have to do the second one of his. And then I really like this Elite Squad trooper helmet, the sort of maybe matte black or at least satin black with the green eyes, kind of like what the Death Troopers have. Who knows? So those are definitely going to be things that I'll be making here very shortly. I just got a new 3D printer, one that's big enough to actually print helmets in one piece, so I'm really excited to get those made. All right, Bad Batch fans, so that was my list of top collectibles that I would like to see come out from the Bad Batch, but I would love to hear even more what your ideas are. So jump down in the comments below, let me know what kind of collectibles you would like to see come out from the Bad Batch. If you like videos like this, please give me a like, please give me a sub. There's a lot more videos to come. Thanks.